Hello, everyone. This is Ghost, and I want to share with you a story that I've been working on. The title I have right now is called Banshee Hollow. I might change it, I might keep it. This is a rough draft, but we're going to go get into this. The year was 1792, in a town known as Banshee Hollow, a name given as it was established and built on top of the remnants of the witch trials. For legend has it, the witches haunt the woods at dark and can be heard screaming throughout, given bad omens or even fears of death. One Hallows Eve, a young boy by the name of Alex Edward ran away from home in the thoughts to escape his abusive father, and to give an offering to the woman in the woods, to rid him and his family of such an abusive father. The town of Banshee Hollow refrained from All Hallows Eve, as it was believed to be the burning night, when the witches were brought before the town and decapitated, turning the moon black from an eclipse, believing from that moment on the town was cursed, and they were. And no one attended All Hallows Eve or anything of that matter. Every Hallows Eve the screams could be heard from deep within the dark woods, making not a soul step foot nowhere near even the tree line. So they built a 10-foot wall all around the town, with 20 foot and more from fence to tree line, preventing access to the woods. Only officials and townfolk could come and go, but only with an escort and priest, which at times was not a good idea at all. The boy was to bring a belonging of his father's to the woman in the woods as an offering to rid his family of him. Alex had planned this for quite a while, and while doing his daily chores and errands, he would make rounds back and forth to the fence line behind his home, and with his shovel and pail he would dig a trench big enough for him to squeeze under and into the woods. Late one night, none other than All Hallows Eve, he snuck out with his father's belt that Alex's father kept at the table and used it excessively, with bloodstains still on it, dried from the severe abuse. Alex squeezed under the fence, looking back in fear, as if someone was watching his every move. But he was assured the coast was clear, and the entire town was silent, as the dogs usually barked all night at the slightest sound, it seemed. But he was safe, and now facing the deep dark woods. He ran as fast as he could and as far as he could into the woods, with only a lantern's light. He ran for some time until he tripped, fell, and the lantern shattered on the ground, ruling out any visibility. He panicked, surrounded by darkness, and fear set in. But the adrenaline of the vengeance he was to obtain snuffed out all fear. Alex felt around, calling out as if someone or something was to hear him. "Woman of the woods, it's my father. I have an offering, please." Silence filled the dark woods for what seemed to be hours, when all of a sudden dead silence was all around. Nothing at all. Not a bird, not a cricket, pure silence. Then out of the darkness, Alex saw a faint light, and the wind blew so cold it was unnatural, and along with it was the feeling of fear, death, and pain. The faint light led Alex to what seemed to be the barely visible face of a hooded figure dressed in all black, blending perfectly to the fog, darkness of the woods, creating the absolute embodiment of fear. When in response to his earlier request, the figure opened its mouth, revealing a illuminated smile, responding with, "I accept your offering, boy." A second smile emerged from the shadows, also dressed in all black, responding, "I accept your blood." Then a third smile, illuminated by rows and rows of sharp teeth, saying, "I accept the souls." Each with a smile that stretched way across their faces unnaturally. The wind picked up, revealing their faces, or what was left of them. Alex dropped the belt and ran back home in fear it would now be him that is taken. He ran and ran through the dark woods as fast as he could with no light whatsoever, retracing his footsteps in hopes to make it out alive. The wailing women pursuing him echoed throughout the night in the woods. Alex could hear the faint sound of the town's dogs barking, knowing he was close and was to escape. The barking began to fade, and the nearing lights of the town dimmed. Alex seemed to get slower and slower when all of a sudden he could see his very own body running away and then falling right at the fence line. He was already dead, decapitated. His head rolled into the trench he had dug earlier, creating a loud thump. The lights of the house turned on, and Alex's father emerged from the home, shotgun in hand. "Who's out there? Show yourself." Alex's father, hearing the screams just right outside the fence, and discovering the dug trench and his son's head. As he picked it up, covered in blood, the boy's head could be heard murmuring, "There were three. There were three," twice before completely going pale and silent. The father looked into the woods, knowing well what had happened. Tears in his eyes, he screamed into the dark woods, "Show yourself, witch!" The screams echoed when all of a sudden there was silence, and the voice of his son's now echoed of his last words throughout the woods. "There were three. There were three. There were three." Echoing and echoing, followed by the wailing and screaming, so ear-piercing it would drive a man insane, which in the turn of events about did, when Alex's father turned the gun into himself, knowing why his son ventured into the woods and for what he had done wrong to his son and his family. Right before he could squeeze the trigger, silence erupted, with a whisper saying to him, "Save your shells, old man. This is our harvest. These are our souls." He looked up, pale in shock, face to face with the woman, unrecognizable only by her black eyes and huge grin, and rows of razor-sharp teeth, when she spoke and said, "I am here for the children." The second woman appeared and said, "I am here for the blood." The third appeared and said, "I am here for the souls." The last words of the father repeated over and over, "There were three," until silence filled the town. Not a sound, complete silence. The moon filled black, the light all snuffed out in the dead of night. Nothing else was ever seen or heard from the father or the entire town, as it was discovered, drenched in blood, with the center of town piled with women and children, burnt to ash. And written in blood on the inside and outside of the fence was repeating, in written, "I'm here for the children. I'm here for the blood. I'm here for the souls." And written all around the piled bones and disfigured corpses were, "There were three." I hope you enjoyed that, and there's probably going to be more to this. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue the story, but kind of in the spirit of Halloween, I've been thinking about this story for a while now, and I hope you enjoyed it. So make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.